Our May We Thank You tour continues as we try to say thank you and show our appreciation to our military veterans, especially here in Southwest Michigan. And I am very happy and excited to be able to welcome Eric here to our conversation today. Eric, how are you?
Oh, doing well. Thank you.
Great, great. Well, it's great to see you. And again, this is a great opportunity for us to kind of connect. Actually, your wife kind of got us connected to make this happen, right?
Yeah, right. I think she probably met you during a Women's Service League event at one time.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And I tell you what, any way that we can, again, make connections, strong connections through these events that lead to things like this, I will be eternally grateful to be able to do this. And now I know her, and then now I know you. So this is great. Well, let's talk about your service a little bit. First and foremost, give us an idea. What was the branch that you served in, and then how long did you serve?
I was in the Army for 11 years and some change.
Okay, there you go. And with your service there, was there a particular role that you had? Did you maybe shift maybe through ranks to transition from one, where you started to where maybe you exited?
Right. So I started off as a private and then worked my way up to a sergeant. And my technical job was a generator mechanic.
Okay, there you go.
What's called a power generation, electronic repair technician.
Okay, so you provided power to the bases, is that right?
Right. Yeah, and during deployments.
Okay, wow. And when you served, obviously those 11 years and some change, give us an idea whereabouts, if you can. Where did you serve?
So I started off in Germany, in Baumholder, Germany, with the 8th Infantry Division. From there, I went to Ranger School. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to Ranger School right there, my first 4 years. And then I went to Fort Knox, Kentucky, and then Babenhausen, Germany, and then Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Wow. Okay.
I got out of the military.
So you've been all sorts of places.
Yeah, I traveled a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Germany, though, huh? How was that?
Oh, that was incredible. Got to travel all over Europe. And because what we were doing and the Ranger School, I was able to deploy with the 10 Special Forces group a couple of times. So I got to go play with them and get some really good training and a lot of traveling with that.
Wow. Very cool. Now, obviously 11 years time spent in. Did you sign up right away out of high school?
Yeah. So I was actually early enrollment. So I signed up a year before I graduated, and I actually went to boot camp the month after graduation.
Wow. All right. So, celebration and get right back down to it, huh?
Right. Yeah. So my father was Army. My grandfather was Army. I had some uncles that were Army. So, yeah, it was the right thing to do.
There you go. Now, with the service that you did and your time in, obviously a lot of things that you reflect on, but I want to go back to maybe that conversation. This is one of my favorite questions to ask because, some people, their parents and their family have reservations. Sure. You have your family that already had obviously their background in it too. So tell me, what was your conversation like with them when you told them you wanted to go?
So everybody was obviously great with it, except for my mother. My mother was a little bit nervous, and she she didn't like the idea as much. But I had full support of everybody.
That's good. Yeah, mom's always protective, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
With where you started when you went into boot camp to when you exited 11 years later and some change. What do you feel like character-wise? What do you feel like that helped do for you in your character development?
Well, there's definitely a work ethic that you build, and getting the job done no matter what it takes.
Yeah, I think
you accomplish it. That's it.
Yeah, I think that the hard work is one of those running themes because, we've had people say that boot camp was extremely tough, like very difficult. We had other people say it was like a vacation for them. So I'm not sure if that was a joke or if they really meant that it wasn't as good. But
right. Well, I gained a little. I actually gained a few pounds in boot camp, but boot camp wasn't terrible.
Yeah,
because I knew what it was about going into it, and it's all a mind game. They try to break you and then build you up. They break you, build you back up. So I knew that going into it.
There you go. So you were right. And obviously growing up with the background that you had, I
Right.
mean, probably were very well prepared versus somebody who
Sure.
was new. Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Looking at, your time as well, what are maybe some other highlights? You mentioned obviously serving in Fort Knox and
Mhm.
serving in Germany. And what are some highlights of things that when you reflect back, you're like, okay, that was a big moment of my Army career?
Oh, wow. Uh, a big moment in my Army career would probably be the Ranger School, obviously, going to that. Starting at the 8th Infantry Division, that was kind of, that's where I started off, and that was my first impression, really, of the real military. A couple buddies of mine and I did the expert infantry course. So, and we actually did better as mechanics. And so we did actually better than a lot of the grunts, infantry guys. Uh, and it was again, the mindset of going in and getting the job done and doing it, and then being able to go to Ranger School after that with recommendations from the commanding uh, chain of command there.
Yeah, with saying that going to Ranger School and obviously what a great opportunity that was.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit for somebody who's maybe not as familiar with the military. What does that mean when you say Ranger School?
So Rangers are a special ops branch, basic or subdivision, I guess, of the Army, if you want to call it that. You've got the Rangers and then the Green Berets, and so the Rangers are the guys that go in and kind of clear the way, basically. And one of the mottos is Rangers lead the way. But it's very intense, very mission oriented and leadership oriented group of guys.
Now, with that, you mentioned recommendations. So this isn't something that everybody gets to do. This is something you have to really
Right.
be top of your game to do,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yep.
Okay. With your career and going and being able to do something like that, was there ever a thought for yourself to continue going and continue in the military past 11 years of service?
Right. So to make it a little personal, I was actually going when I was at Fort Bragg. I was going to getting ready to go into the Special Forces qualification course, and something happened, and I noticed something not right with my back, and ended up getting MRIs and bone scans done, and they found that I had a cracked vertebrae and a bulging disc. So I wasn't able to continue with that. And then my wife at the time was pregnant with my daughter. So I just thought it was, time to get out at that time. I couldn't do what I wanted to do, and I really didn't want to raise my daughter by a satellite phone. I'd seen that too many times, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So,
Yeah, family first is
all right.
kind of a mentality there.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's good. Obviously you have a passion for serving and circumstances that were obviously at play prevented a potential opportunity to continue going, but I think that coming back and spending time with family and with your friends again and reuniting that way is obviously a great thing.
Sure.
What, not to go again a little too personal, but I want to know for you transitioning back into that civilian role, what was that? How long was the transition period for you to where you really felt like, okay, I'm good?
Yeah, years and years, very long time. And the reason I say that is because most positions here are jobs, in the civilian world. It's not life or death. It's nobody's gonna die because you're 5 minutes late to a meeting or whatever. So it was the sense of urgency, I guess, in the military is a lot higher. And then I know people in civilian world kind of freak out when things don't go perfectly right and are not able to improvise, adapt, and overcome. So it's just basically the sense of urgency that you feel in the military is different than what you feel in the civilian world for the general employment.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I love that you say that, with our civilian roles, a lot of times, most cases, not life or death,
Yeah.
and that really paints a picture as to what it is that soldiers like yourself went to deal with on an everyday basis. I mean, you're providing a service, you're providing something that really everybody in the company, depends on, right? That lifeline.
Right. Yeah. And if you screw up or slack off for 1 second, somebody could die. in the wrong situation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, obviously, very heavy thoughts there, but I want to transition here now. I like to do this because May We Thank You is obviously about showing gratitude, learning a little bit more, and expressing to civilians what exactly it is like to be serving in the military. So I'd like to give you an opportunity to share a story that maybe you have from your service that you recall that you're like, okay, this is either a funny story or something that again people should know about.
Military related, huh? Hmm.
I mean, if you want to share about your best golf game, we can do that too. But no, I'm just
Well,
kidding.
yeah, no, that's probably because I've only golfed a few times, and longest drive one time when I was only trying to hit it straight.
Oh, there you go.
There was just too many. Gosh, I wouldn't even know where to start. It's been so long. My God, there's so many experiences.
Thinking of Germany, did
Yeah.
you mentioned going through Europe and exploring things. Did you get to do any exploration, maybe as, again, not in uniform, something that was just more, so,
Yeah.
I mean, anything along that?
Yeah, no, we went to, I went to London a couple times. I went to Wales a couple times. Went skiing in the Alps. My first time seeing a mountain was in the Austrian Alps. Taking a tour bus. I was on the second level of this bus, and it was a glass top. And waking up in the middle of the snow-capped Alps was just unbelievable, crazy. It was amazing. Went to Spain a couple times. So then this is again, this is '80s and stuff, before the wall came down. So in Madrid, there was Soviets that came in, and it was their museum. We went to go see, and we didn't know it. And they came in, and they were making us pay to come in because they knew we were Americans, and we obviously couldn't do it. But they're just Italy was the only place I didn't get to go that I really wanted to go in Europe while I was there. Belgium, Luxembourg, went everywhere.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, with those experiences, which sound incredible, to be able to go and explore that much of the world, because many people not in service really are only seeing Michigan or the United States,
Sure.
not getting that worldly experience. Have you had an opportunity to bring your family to some of those places that maybe you served and to tell them stories while you're there?
Yep. So yeah, we went to Belgium. I took my daughter, my wife and I took my daughter to Belgium a few years ago, and went to the Battle of the Bulge again, and got to relive that experience with her. So that was pretty cool.
With her reaction, what was that like? Kind of expressing.
She absolutely loved it. She loved Europe, the European experience, basically.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then having such a personal connection through you as well, which I mean is
Right.
huge.
Yeah, and then you're driving through the streets, and then all of a sudden this castle pops up, or these ruins of an old castle pop up, and so you just pull over and you go check it out, and you can kind of feel the history of it and everything. It's really cool.
Awesome. Well, Eric, we appreciate you taking some time here to chat with us today. And I want to end, I guess, with the question that I feel like every military person, whether it be Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, really can give a good firsthand account to anybody who might be thinking about signing up for the military. What is your advice to them?
Do it 100%. Whether it's going in for the school, for a technical experience, for special operations experience, and go in with the right mindset. Your body will give up before your mind does, and if your mind is right, you will not stop.
Wow. Great advice there, and that is again straight from the source, straight from somebody who's lived it. So Eric, very grateful again for you, for your service and giving us the opportunity to live like we do every day, as I like to say, kind of mindlessly, and we take it for granted. But I hope you know that we are authentic when we say our appreciation to you for what you did for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
bet. Absolutely. So may we thank you tour again, presented by Boss Services, raising the standard.